I'm not gonna lie, man. Anything I say, don't take my word for it. Completely improvised. You gotta be honest at this point. But it is your night, isn't it? So anything that I say is related to you in some sort of way. Okay. I'm gonna say that. Okay. I'm just gonna start with my buddy Eli. I actually did have something prepared to say. Some things that every single time it reminds me of you. So I'm gonna say the favorite memories I have with you. So one thing that I completely don't understand is when this kid says it's a bitch, my voice is not getting this way. So this goes back to actually a year ago. A year ago, before you even wanted an auditorium, I'm like, okay, it's your birthday, you're turning 15, what do you want? He's like, that's a very interesting question. I really like you. I really like when you ask these questions, Brian. And then he goes on. And he doesn't give me a concise answer. So I'm like, I didn't receive an answer. What am I supposed to do now? His birthday is literally tomorrow. I think it was on a Thursday or Friday, I'm not sure. So I'm like, you know what? What does he love? Apart from being by himself or being on his phone? That's eating. So this kid loves eating, right? So I'm like, okay, might as well just get him Taco Bell. I can get him Taco Bell for that. That's gonna be kind of expensive and he's gonna want a lot of stuff. So I'm like, okay, not Taco Bell. And I'm like, hold on. Bro, you work at a fast food restaurant, so what are you gonna get him? Okay, something with Dunkin'. So I'm like, okay, let's get him some donuts. They're sweet. No way he doesn't like them. Even though at this point I've worked 6 months in Dunkin' Donuts and he's never visited the shop yet. I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get him 5 dozen donuts, take him to school, and then he's gonna eat one per class, and then we're just gonna give it to the rest of the people also. So a dozen donuts per period. Go ahead and control your son. Thank you. So continuing. So I remember that day, Juan actually drove us to school, and we stopped there in the morning. And I'm like, okay, I get the 5 dozen donuts. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get it in my Dunkin' bag, and everyone's gonna see me. But then they tell me, I'm like, oh wait, Bryan, we actually have a problem. We don't have big bags, so like, do you want to take them just the 5 dozen like on your hands? I'm like, no, why would I do that? So I'm like, wait, actually, you guys have trash bags. So just let me have the trash bags. They're black, and people aren't going to see that they have 5 dozen donuts with me, so they won't chase me all around in school. Even better. So I'm like, okay. So it's going all of it with a bit. We get to school, everything works out perfectly. And then, kind of in the middle of it, the garbage bag breaks. I'm literally walking. Were you carrying it or was I carrying it? That's another thing about it. He just remembers something specific about 3 years ago, and then you ask him something that happened 2 minutes ago, and he does not remember whatsoever. So I'm like, okay, it is what it is. I think I was carrying it. So the thing breaks. Okay, we don't have a trash bag anymore. We still have 3 dozen donuts left. Okay. He decides to carry it himself. I'm like, you know what? Actually, you know something you can do? You can wear the trash bag. So what does he do? He takes the trash bag, puts it on, and uses it like a Superman thing. A Superman cape, maybe. I think I have the pictures. I don't remember where I put them. But let's just say the garbage thing broke at 12. We left at 2:50 from school, and it was even worse for spending 3 hours in class and everything. You did know that, but you can see they're related because she's also cousin brother herself. I actually showed you the pictures also.
I was in your car.
Yeah. You're like, why are you wearing that? I'm like, well, it's from the garbage. As you can see, you're not the only one with a problem. Yeah, there's where it comes from. That's it. Another was we're literally talking with friends in lunch because I used to have lunch with him. This year, unfortunately, I don't have lunch with him. But in lunch, one thing that he did was either he was on his phone just sleeping or just seeing dumb things, or we spoke with him for 5 minutes, that's all you got. Between 1 and 5 minutes, that was it. For 40 minutes, that was it. And that was it for the entire year. It's like a consistency that you had. So I'm like, okay. 5 minutes I had with him, I'm like, okay. The friends started speaking with him. I don't know if did you guys do a bet? I think they did a bet. He lost his bet and he had to get them dunking. Was it that way? Yes.
I was like, alright, I'll do it.
Well, they just said, okay, you have to get me Dunkin' if you lose this bet. So he's like, okay. He lost his bet, ended up getting Dunkin', and I think that was the first time he went to my Dunkin'. I wasn't even working, and he went alone. I wasn't expecting that myself. We actually took the courage to do it, and actually gave it to them, and they didn't expect me to get it. And then I remember he gets in the car, all serious and everything with all the orders. And then I'm like, dude, you actually did this. I think he didn't even get anything from himself. He didn't get anything from himself. He just got things for other people because of the bit. That was it. Dude, it's for the bit. It's for the bit. I have to do it. It's for the bit. Every single time you say it's for the bit, I'm like, you and your ideas, whatever, go ahead. So that was one of them. But I actually have various. One of my favorite ones that I mentioned to this day is his favorite quote. For me, it's the favorite quote that he has, but it's not maybe it's not his favorite quote. Since I say that it's my favorite, and probably it's his favorite, of course he's not going to say that it's his favorite, right?
Let's see what it is. I think I know what it is, and you're probably wrong.
The one where you always say, just don't die. It is? Okay, there you go. I got it. So we're in West Palm Beach. We're staying at I don't know where we're staying. And after that, this kid right here is almost falling asleep. Fernando he was gonna move to Orlando. And last night, I remember Lisa asked I don't know, like the people who weren't going with them, some piece of advice or something they had to tell them before they had to go. I think I didn't say anything. Other people just said some other stuff. I don't remember. The one thing I do remember was the thing that he said. Was just, Fernando, and with a serious face, Fernando, just don't die, okay? Just don't die. Same thing with life. That's something that he has. So for example, I can be literally like, oh my God, I feel sad. He's like, just don't. What? Just don't be. Or I can say, dude, I'm hungry. Just don't be. Or I'm so cold. He's like, just don't be. So there's actually, when he first started saying that, it was something very dumb. But then there were parts in which I was alone and I actually thought like, oh my God, he's right. Just don't be. And then it starts working. So I can be sometimes sad or like feeling depressed and all confused, and I'm like, just don't be. And then it starts working. I'm like, damn, okay, he has something with it. So there's things that he says that later has an influence in the way I think, at least. And something that actually made a change for me, I remember, was homecoming last year. Big change. So I remember they announced that homecoming was coming up, 2021, and it was a party, of course. Got to dance, meet new people, take the girl out, and I'm like, well, I don't know. I've never gone to parties. I'm not a party guy. I'm really shy. And then out of nowhere, this kid right here is like, Bryan, you're going. That's it. And I'm like, what? No. And then I remember they announced the price. I don't remember. It was like $25, $30. I'm like, I'm not paying $25 for that. I don't even know. I'm probably just gonna be a random ass kid in the corner, watching everybody have fun, and then just look like a weirdo. I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, Bryan, you're going. That's it. I don't know. Whatever you say, this is it. You're going. And then I'm like, well, if he's going, And he's also like me, then why can I just not try and go? So I'm like, okay, fair enough, I'm gonna go. So the thing is, we end up going, and the tables end up turning. I end up having fun, and then he ends up sitting at a table. Yeah, that happened. And the thing is that I remember that day so specifically because he got so mad. Like, he didn't show it, but I could tell that he was mad because people used to ask me, like, dude, so what's going on with your cousin? Like, I see him and he's just standing there looking at everyone. And then I'm like, oh, don't worry. He's charging up for the last time. Don't worry, he'll be in the dance with you. He'll get there. An hour goes by. Yo, dude, your cousin is not standing anymore. He's actually like sitting down. He's looking very serious at everyone, and everyone's just staring at him like, what is this dude doing? And I'm like, dude, don't worry about it. Have patience. Look, he's not gonna come here for no reason and not have fun at us. So then it got to the point where his teachers actually started talking to me, and I'm like, I remember the robotics teacher. He's like, you're Nicholas's cousin, right? I'm like, yes. He's like, it started raining and your cousin's just there getting wet and he's just not moving. Like, is he okay? And I'm like, oh, thank you for the information. Don't worry about it. I'll get it sorted. So I go up to him and I'm like, Nick, I don't know if you noticed, but you're getting wet right now. So like, are you gonna move or like, what do you want me to do? He's literally, I'm just gonna pretend. He's literally sitting like this. Doesn't even look at me. Doesn't even move. Just pretends like I don't exist. And I just keep doing it. And to the point where I touch him. When I touch him, he does this. He goes like, I'm like, okay, my bad. I leave him alone, and that was the end of the night. The next day, I'm like, dude, what? You literally told me to go. Why didn't you do anything? What happened? He's like, Bryan, you don't get it. Don't ask me that question. To this day, I still don't know what happened. It's been a year. Can you explain what happened? Okay, no. When he says no, you don't debate about it. He got that strictly from his mom. You see, if you have Elisa right over there, never try to influence Elisa's decision, okay? You're losing the battle. Her husband, who's sitting right next to her, also says, look, you either tie or you lose. That's it. You're not going to win ever. So don't try and waste your time into actually changing her decision. So I'm like, when he started doing that thing, I'm like, oh, here we go. And I'm not even going to try it at this point. So when he says no, it's no. When he says yes, lucky day for you. Another thing is that sometimes he says dumb things and it works, but other times he says wise things and of course it works. But we have some certain situations in which hasn't gone my way. So I remember this time I was sitting in the sofa, and I had told him about this girl I like, and this Argentinian girl I like, and I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do. Listen, the signs are there. Should I go for it? And he's like, Bryan, look at me, look. You guys are cute together, okay? So, and he just starts going at it like he's like this relationship genius. And I'm like, everything's like sounding okay, like it makes sense. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I ended up doing it, and the girl has not spoken to me to this day. So listen, he gives good advice, but sometimes it just doesn't go your way. You win some, you lose some. But yeah, that did not go well. If you want to know what I actually did, I actually wrote an entire letter to her, and I gave it to her. And yeah, I did not get a response, and the girl ended up actually moving to Argentina. I'm not even. Yeah, the girl moved back to Argentina, and I'm not spoken to this day. he didn't write it. He told me what to do. He gave me the courage. He influenced on that decision. I'm not gonna write it because then that led into other shit. But oh wait, sorry. Can I curse?
Yeah.
Okay, I can curse. Okay. Okay, that makes it better. Um, which oh yeah, this was a good one. So after that happened, I ended up actually getting a girlfriend later on, and then that ended. But I remember this day like it was yesterday. So this kid, he never gives me compliments, which I don't have a problem with it. So I'm like, okay, if we're gonna build a bond or he's gonna talk to me in some sort of way, then I'm just gonna tell him, dude, just hate on me, okay? Like if you're gonna say something, it has to be bad about it. Just become my biggest hater. Become my biggest hater. That's your job. If I do something good, don't say it's good. If I do something bad, just go with hammer on me. And he's like, okay, I got you. That was the first time I got a smile out of him. He's like, okay, this sounds fun. And then, so we're literally at Ruby's. We're at Ruby's. And it was like 2 or 3 days after a breakup that happened to me. And then this kid just goes off on me, like bad. Like to the point where he accepted it himself. Like he was like, sorry, Bryan, I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. But he was just on the roll. It was bad. I was literally telling Elise, like, control your son. Like this is starting to hurt. He was just going on me. But went past that. But something that I almost like I do all the time is that no matter if he hates or if he gives me a compliment, I'm like always there. And even like I've done this in school a bunch of times. I remember the robotics teacher was like, okay, you guys have to choose. You guys have to go in groups of 3. And 2 other people have called me. And I'm like, Bryan, just join us. Be part of our group, please. And if I had gone with them, he would have been left alone. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I remember I looked at him. He goes like that. He was not expecting it. And I'm like, Nick, I'm not leaving you. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not leaving you. You know, you can say like go with them. I'm still not going with them. I'm just right beside you, okay? And then I go with them. And I remember the teacher. It's like, okay, everyone tell me their groups. And then the teacher himself was expecting me to go with the other group. And then when he notices that I'm with him, he looks at the other group and he's like, huh? And then he looks at me, he's like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, I'm loyal. And I point at him, he's like, okay, we'll look back to that in the future. And something that happens a lot is that people in school, well, not anymore, because I barely see him anymore, because our schedules are shifted. Back in the day, when we started school, this kid, he didn't talk to anyone. Probably still doesn't. Do you? No, okay. He still doesn't. He used to cover his face. He used to just intimidate people. Like he used to look at you with his face and be like, "Don't talk to me." Don't like. He used to go like this. Like I don't even know why, where he got that out of. And sometimes when he was tired, his eyes just started going red, so it was even worse. To the point where I remember I asked one of my friends, so what do you think of my cousin? And then he's like, who's your cousin? You have a cousin? And I'm like, yes, Nicholas, the heck? And he's like, oh, the kid that looks like he wants to shoot the school up. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, probably. If that's your cousin, he looks like he wants to shoot the school up. Like, haven't you seen him? He literally intimidates people all around. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And it's like, no, look at him right now. And I'm like, yo, Nick. And then he goes like, what do you want? Don't touch me. And then I started to take it. And this kid in class, one thing is that when he has an idea, and a teacher says otherwise, he's not scared to let the teacher know. He's like, no, it's not like that. So we have to. Do you still have a class with this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's this teacher that I don't know if he loves. The teacher loves him, but back in the day, they used to go at it.
That's the like.
Okay, he doesn't like her, but the teacher just loves him. I don't even know that. But there's this history teacher. Her name is Miss Rowe. And one day in class, we were talking about. I think it was like the moon landing, and she had all these dumb conspiracy theories about it was all created by the government, and how are the astronauts gonna call the president all the way from the moon, and if you hop on a freaking elevator, you lose the signal, so it doesn't make sense. And then this kid goes like, he started just explaining to the entire class how all the things that the teacher was saying was nonsense. And then the teacher just noticed that she was like kind of getting embarrassed. So she kind of like shuts him down. And then I remember his reaction was like, he was like, he had like a poker face, but I can notice deep inside that he was about to explode. To the point where he did explode. He was like, Bryan, she's crazy, Bryan. I don't know what she's saying. The thing is that he said it out loud, and the teacher she heard what he said, and then she's like, she hears him. He's like, that's not a good thing to say. He's like, I don't know why you're saying that to people. And then he goes like, well, Miss Roman, that's not our problem, you know. Some people are actually crazy, and we're all crazy in some sort of way. And he just starts going at it. And in the end of the class, I don't think he got away with it. I mean, he did kind of destroy her entire point, but he did get called up to her in the end. She did give her some words to him, and then he did end up getting late to the next class because of what he had just done. Well, that's something that I do admire about him, that he just doesn't care. Like, it's to another level. Like, you could be right in front of him, you're talking, yo, I need you, and he's, no. I think Fernando's kind of also like the same. See, I'm looking at Fernando staring right like, deep in the eyes. Are you okay? You see, that's when you know you're not supposed to bother Fernando. You also have Elisa over there. Wow, okay. The other one, don't worry, I have a lot. I'm gonna be here a while. Do you mind?
What is last one?
Last one, okay, back in. Okay, last one, but it's like divided into four. Okay, last one. Okay, my bad. So the only memory I know that is also the good memory that he has of me, that I know. And it is when we went to Steak and Shake. Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. Okay. So last one, and I'm out. So we were one day. I don't remember if it was a school day. I was kind of bored, and I'm like, you know what? I actually want a burger. So I'm like, okay, no problem. I go, open the door. His ass is literally kind of half asleep, but at the same time, he's like watching his YouTube videos, but he's not watching him at the same time. As he explained before about all the internet and all that, he's just scrolling, and I'm like, Nick, like, I'm going to say this shit. Do you want to go? The other 15 times that I've asked him in the past, he's always said no. He just ignores what I say. But this time, he actually said yes. So I'm like, well, okay. So I'm like, okay, how much time? He's like, give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes go by. We go. I think Elisa was sleeping. And this is the big problem. We did not let her know. So we ended up going to Steak and Shake. He orders his food. And we're waiting for the burgers. And of course, we drove there. It was at night, and it was kind of raining. When he gets a call, I'm like, it's Elisa. And then I tell him, is that Elisa? He's like, yes. He answers the phone, and I'm like, this guy can go very good or very bad. So he's like, okay, yeah. Oh, we're sorry. Okay, yeah, we'll be right back. So So it turns out Elisa woke up from her nap. She had to work that day, of course. And she called us, and I think nobody answered because nobody was there. She goes into the living room, nobody was there. So let's just say if you're gonna leave, let Elisa know, because then she'll get stressed about it, and she'll start overthinking about things that are gonna happen. Who knows, whatever it is. And that time we didn't let me know, and we're very sorry about it from both of our parts. That was about it. I don't have that much time. My man's gonna take the stage. Please go ahead. And so you can explain why I'm a detail
Good luck to Bryan, everybody.
Good job,
Great
Bryan.
for this coming great show, because I know.